So congratulations, you unveiled the title of Avatar.
It's only a big deal because we didn't have a title. We only didn't have a title because I couldn't make up my damn mind.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
It's that simple.
So the title is?
The title is Fire and Ash, which has meaning when you see the film. It's not in and of itself that earth-shaking, but when you see the film, it makes sense.
I actually think it says a lot. It says a lot because we know from The Way of Water, we know what that was about. So what kind of world are we exploring with Fire and Ash, maybe?
Well, if you think about what is fire, fire can represent hatred, can represent violence, trauma, you know.
Power.
Power. Possible misuse of power.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of thematic stuff. What does ash represent? In my mind, in this film, it represents the aftermath of all of that energy, which is grief and having to live with, you know, what you've done. And so, as I told, you know, the audience today, 14,000 of my closest friends, you know, this film goes much deeper on our characters and deep emotional consequences for them that threatens their relationships with each other, tests their bonds, and so on. And that's why I say, I think the movie is simultaneously unexpected, based on what you think you've seen 6 hours into the Avatar saga so far between first film and the second film, and it will also be what you crave. Because I think what you crave as an audience is not just more beautiful imagery. We have that, of course we have that.
Right.
You know, we have an amazing, detailed, rich world and the imaginations of a lot of great artists that go into it. But we, by this point, I believe we care about the journey of these people. You know?
That's the magic of Avatar. We've talked about this, the tertiary level.
Tertiary level, exactly.
Yes.
We definitely, this is something that we shared in an interview, which is, there's the obvious level, right? And then there's the secondary level, which is thematic, you know, sort of what's it about, right? But there's a tertiary level that you can't really describe. That's a feeling that you have when you watch it. And you could call it spiritual if you want, which is why do I feel so strangely connected to this world or to these images or to these people? And we work hard to make sure that the film, so far we've done it twice and we hope to do it a third time, that the film connects with people in a way that they can't describe.
Yeah. Where do we meet your characters at the start of this film? Where are they at?
Well, I mean, remembering where they left off.
Yeah.
Which, you know, they're in such an unimaginable place. So obviously, you know, picking it up from there is you know, it's the natural course of what the story should sort of say. And like Jim says, they're going to be challenged. Their bonds will be challenged, and but the Sullys stick together.
Where do we meet your character at the beginning? Where is he?
I think he's underwater.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah. I don't know how much we're allowed to talk about.
A lot of training, a lot of preparation, you know, just for the physicality. See, the thing is that the image that you see is generated by a computer for a large amounts of the film, but it's all based on the performances. Everything that you see a person do, they did, you know, and if it was underwater, they were doing it underwater.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a difficulty factor. It's not like just doing a voice part for an animated film. It's many levels, you know, beyond that.
What kind of world are you going to explore in this film? Obviously, you know, we saw Pandora in the first one, we went underwater in the second one. The title does suggest, besides, you know, what that represents, but what kind of worlds are audiences going to see in this one?
You'll see new cultures and they inhabit different parts of the planet Pandora. It's actually an exomoon. It's a moon around a much larger gas giant, but just think of it as a planet. think of Earth. Think of deserts, mountains, ocean, islands, all the, you know, the Great Plains. Think of all the environments that are available. You know, George Lucas made a decision, his decision was to have a different planet represent each of there's a desert planet and a jungle planet and a swamp planet and a city planet. It's cool. It's very cool. We all love it, right? I think we can agree on that.
Yeah.
But Earth isn't like that. We have it all right here. You know, you could explore Pandora for the rest of your life, you know, and see all these different amazing places and the way that nature adapts and the way that these human-like intelligent beings adapt to these different biomes. And that'll be a continuing thing if we go beyond to movie 4 and 5. They're all written. They're written like a series of novels.
Yeah.
They're just kind of kept in a vault right now. But we know where we're going with it. You know?
Yeah.
So you'll meet 2 new cultures in this film. Not one. We met one new culture in the last film. We'll meet 2 new cultures.
Yes.
Yeah, right. The reef people in the last film, and they took us into their world, and you'll meet 2 new ones, and you'll go into their world, right? So we just keep adding. We keep adding detail and complexity, but we stay at the core of this relationship, you know, between Jake and Neytiri and their children, and the children are quite central, you know.
Yeah. As actors, what kind of a journey would you say, compared to the first 2, do your characters go on in this film? And then these new, you know, clans that you're meeting along the way, how will it test them?
I think, look, what I've always loved about this journey, I've got friends that do other movies where the characters, the situation changes in their sequels, but the characters stay the same.
Yeah.
Jim really keeps pushing us, and he keeps making us go deeper, and the stakes keep getting higher, so therefore the problem solving of these characters keep going more. And as an actor, that's a gift, because you don't want to just keep doing the same carbon copy character.
Yeah.
Jake does evolve, and Neytiri does evolve, and their relationship evolves, and not just in a physical form with children, but in who they are inside, in her own spirit and soul. And you know, that to me as an actor, that's why I love coming back and working on it, because you know you're going to go and you're going to have to push these characters right to as far as they're going to go, and then beyond that. And as an actor, that's what you're searching for. You're searching for someone that keeps pushing a character outside its comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's also an interesting mirror of our collective lives. I'm a little bit ahead of you in family building, right? When you guys signed up, you didn't have children.
No.
But then it went into a family story with children and what that means to the parents and the compromises that they have to make to who they thought they were and all of those things. So there was plenty of stuff for you guys to latch onto from your actual lives.
Absolutely. There is, when you're young and you don't have children, there's this sense of fearlessness. You jump at every opportunity. You climb that mountain without that rope, you know, for safety, and all of a sudden you have to care for this innocent life, and you find yourself completely in love with something in a way that you've never experienced love before. It's like love at the 5th dimension, and the thought of you losing that life is just unimaginable. It's inexplicable. You just can't go there. And Jake and Neytiri are no different. They're individuals that were fearless and that had a lot of anger in them, a lot of rebellion in them. They meet, their love makes them vulnerable, but they decide to sort of come together, and their bond makes them stronger. Now with their family, it's the same thing. Now having a family, they're experiencing a certain level of vulnerability, and they have to find strength in keeping them alive. Well, what happens when you lose one? Well, that's their next step. And Jim, you know, just like Sam is saying, just keeps pushing us as people to experience these unimaginable feelings, because Jake and Neytiri need to go through them. And I feel like if we're referring to that 3rd level of depth of Avatar, you know, the journey, it speaks to the human core of what is dear to you, what is important to you, your family, your beliefs, your environment, yourself, you know, and your sense of justice as well. Like what that's very important to you. Well, those are the themes that Jake and Neytiri are exploring constantly, and as long as they choose each other, then they will experience it together.
Somehow it's gonna work, because they each makes up what the other one lacks in a way. And you know, Neytiri has always had such a strong sense of who who she is and where she is in the world. And everything challenges that. And Jake, on the other hand, has never known where he fits in.
Yeah.
He's trying to fit in here, and then he's trying to fit in there. But he always knows who he is in it, you know. So they're really interesting characters. They're fun to write, you know. It's great to work with you guys over the years. We've been doing this for 17 years, you know. And so far we got 3 movies under our belt, you know.
And we got a few more to go.
2 more to go.
Yes, I can't
At
wait.
least.